Hey guys, welcome back to your ultimate film obsessed podcast experience, a show that will finally prove that movies are the future. This segment is but a small part of an hour-long podcast, which you can check out in its entirety in audio form right here, or at the links in the description below. Regardless, we hope you enjoy.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.
Did I leave the stove on?
I didn't choose the Chancellor. The Chancellor chose me.
Future.
So there you go. Time to move on now to
What we've all been looking
what
forward
we've
to.
all been waiting for, the topic of the month, graphic. So in I don't know, in
honor.
honor, yes. In honor of the release of the, as you said, music video, costume test.
Shitty cheap.
See you soon, Birds of Prey teaser, also known as Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. We decided to have a look through the best and worst titles for movies of all time. And so we're just going to kind of throw some out there. If you guys have sort of picked some you want
Have
to
a
talk
random
about.
discussion.
Yeah, I'm just going to kind of run through some of my favorite titles, least favorite titles, and, just awards for best sequel title, best, spin-off title. I don't know. We'll just talk about the best and worst titles in movies.
Yeah.
All right. So the best titles. Do you guys have any you want to throw out there? Any titles you really enjoy?
I don't know. Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. That's just such a cool title.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I've always loved that title.
It's good. I liked when they started going with the hash or like the
subtitles.
hyphen. Yeah, Ghost Protocol.
It's just cool.
Also, it doesn't really even mean anything. Like, it could have been named really anything,
Yeah.
really, and they were just
Yeah,
like Ghost Protocol.
Yeah, just like Rogue Nation, Fallout. They're all cool, but Ghost Protocol. That's
Yeah, I agree.
That's the coolest dragon.
I love Prisoners. I know we talked about that before, talking about Denis Villeneuve, but I love that title just because it's like sort of encompasses like our main characters, what they're sort of going through in their situation. So yeah, that's probably one of
Yeah.
my favorite titles.
I think sort of an oldie but a goodie. Have to throw it out there just because it's great. Is Star Wars. Like, it's just
True.
it's to the point. You get it. It's catchy. It's simple. It's like Star War. Like, it's the same. It rhymes. It's just the most like boom, like Star Wars. Like, pretty good. I think
Yeah.
pretty good title.
Yeah. I was also thinking Quentin Tarantino's movies. They always have good titles. I think my favorite, Django Unchained. I don't know. I like that.
I think Kill Bill would be the
And
best
I had
one.
like Kill Bill or Inglourious Bastards. Like,
Yeah,
that's
with
cool.
an E. Yeah.
Like all of them are. Yeah, they're all good.
Yeah, I agree. Dragon.
Anymore.
I'm stumped.
Just throwing
I
through.
didn't write them down.
He's looking at my laptop going, should I steal some?
Yeah, legit.
I'll let you have those.
You can do it.
I'll
I'll
just
cop this.
I'll sort of just run through a couple of random ones. Blade Runner sounds awesome, even though it really doesn't make sense with the movie. Like,
Yeah.
that was just something they had from another book that they threw in as the title because it sounded cool. So given that the title is only there because it sounds cool, got to give Blade Runner a shout
Yeah.
out. What does that even mean?
Well, isn't that
Who
what,
cares?
Isn't that what Harrison Ford's character is?
He's a blade. Wait.
Well, he is a Blade Runner, but like, what does that mean? Like
True.
he hunts.
Yeah.
He hunts androids, but it's like.
Should be like Blade
Why is it
Hunter or
called a
something.
Blade- Yeah,
Yeah,
or just like replicant exterminator. Yeah.
That'd be a good cheesy 80s action android
Gosh.
exterminator.
Speaking of cheesy 80s action movies, I think one of my favorite sequel titles is Die Hard 2 Die Harder. Like, they're just like,
Oh,
just
God.
didn't care. They
Yeah.
were like, you know what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always found that funny as a kid when I'd rent Die Hard 2. It'd be like, so it goes Die Hard, then Die Harder. then
Yeah. Die Hard,
Die
with
Hard
a
with
Vengeance.
Vengeance.
Good Day to Die Hard.
Oh, that's a bad
Bad movie, but
That's
not a bad
neat
title. Live Free or Die Hard. They're good. They're not bad.
Well,
Die
in
Hard
Australia, it's Die Hard 4.0. That's how I always knew it as a kid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then there was 4.1, if you remember, which was like this sort of extended cut version.
Oh, okay.
So there you go. Little shout out. They did that with X-Men. There's X-Men 2.1 or something,
Yeah, that's
I
right.
think.
That's Spider-Man 2.1 as well.
Yeah.
Remember that
That's
one.
Australia.
That's Australia for you. Weird titles. Any others?
I don't know. I find it hard to like name off like good titles because it's
Yeah,
it's
it's
so
just sort of, like,
subjective.
It is.
Whereas bad titles you can sort of kind of agree on, but good titles is like
Well, a few more good ones then. I think the other best sequel one is Aliens, because you've got Aliens. I can just imagine James Cameron
Yeah.
sitting in a room just being like, "That's it."
It just encompasses the movie too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty smart. Pretty smart. And then the Santa Claus, I want to give a particular shout out to. Not really as a best title, but like confusing, because for the first like 14 years of my life, I thought that Santa Claus, the person, the true life person, had an E on the end, but it's actually just CLAUS. And the title of the Santa Claus movies is called The Santa Claus because it's a play on words that, the clause is, what sets the plot into motion. So,
yeah.
God damn you, Disney or whoever makes those movies. Who did make those movies?
I don't know.
Let's have a
Quick
look.
fact check.
Did you guys remember that there was a Round of the Twist episode? Did you watch Round of the Twist?
We were, yeah.
Yeah, like Santa Claus. There was like.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right.
Sorry, I just remember that. Another like.
It was Buena Vista, so yeah, Walt Disney.
Disney, yeah.
Round the Twist was a wild show.
So yeah, the Santa Claus for fucking with me for years.
You know what is a great title?
Yeah.
Snakes on a Plane. Snakes on a Plane.
Boom. It's just
Straight to the point.
Yeah,
You know what?
exactly.
It's as ridiculous as it sounds. Perfect.
You just sold that movie just based on the title.
Pretty much,
That's
yeah.
it. Someone here, I was just looking through Reddit, someone has a shout out to the proposed sequel to What We Do in the Shadows titled Werewolves.
I've seen that, yeah.
Just
'cause
where
we are wolves and werewolves.
Werewolves.
I love it so much.
Smart.
Yeah.
Smart stuff. I hope they ever get to make that movie.
Same. I love the werewolves in that movie.
And then I'll just rattle off a couple more just before we give up. What else we got? Long titles. There's a few awards. I mean,
God.
just like there's like
Birds.
confusingly long titles like
You got Birds of Prey, which is stupid.
Birdman and the
Or
And
Birdman, or
Virtue
the
of
unexpected
Ignorance.
virtue of ignorance.
yeah, there you go, long one. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind is a
I w-
title that like
Just gonna say
you
that.
just like what like it
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
like you tell people like I don't know how that movie got made with that title,
Yeah.
but
Or-
thank God.
Or
because-
just stupid like comedies like that Disney one from Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day.
Yeah.
It's like, why? Or
'Cause it
even
was a
that,
really bad day, Declan. They had to sell that.
or even that new Ted Bundy movie, Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil, and Vile. It's like it's cool, but it's like you can't really. No one's gonna say, "Oh, have you seen Extremely Wicked?" Blah blah blah. Everyone's gonna say, "Have you seen the Zac
Have
Efron
you
Ted
seen-
Bundy movie?"
Yeah, exactly. But
Yeah.
I think that's almost why it doesn't matter what the title is. Like, no one's gonna call it by the title anyway. It's like, what do you call it? Like Birds of Prey. I guess people just be like,
Have
Harley
you seen
Quinn
Birds of
movie.
Prey? Or like
Yeah.
Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. You just
Yeah.
say, "Have you seen Dawn of
That's
Justice?"
a particularly bad title.
Yeah.
Like, because it spoils the movie in the title. It's
Yeah.
the V, not a VS.
Yeah.
It's like just bad.
It's two movies too. Batman v Superman and Dawn of Justice.
Yeah, that's just a really bad, and they never followed it up with another, just really bad. It should have just been called World's Finest, or it should have been called Batman v Superman.
Exactly.
Yeah. Or a title I don't like is The Lost World, Jurassic Park.
Yeah,
It's just
Yep.
something like that. I'm like, why isn't it just the other way around?
OCD. Yeah,
It's just
no, I agree. I
And-
agree with you on that one.
And continue with like OCD is like when franchises stick to like a sort of format of how they title things, and then they change it for like,
John Wick Chapter 3.
Yeah.
and it's like John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum. It's like just call it Chapter 3. It'll look silly
Yeah.
when you have all the
Yeah.
DVDs lining up. It'll be like John Wick Chapter 2,
Yeah.
What's
John
this?
Wick Chapter 3.
Silence of the Lambs is good.
Yeah.
The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. A Clockwork Orange. All of the Kubrick movies, I guess.
Well, with those OCD ones, there's a recent one, How to Train Your Dragon. There's How to Train Your Dragon, How to Train Your Dragon 2, and How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World.
It's like,
Yeah, it's annoying.
It's kind of
See, that's the one thing that the Disney, the Star Wars special editions got right, was they officially changed the title to Episode 4, Even Indiana Jones, they went back and added Indiana Jones and Raiders of
Because
the
it was
Lost
just
Ark.
called Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I still like. Like, to me, it's just Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah.
Because it's
Yeah.
really long to add Indiana Jones. But yeah, I appreciate that they went back and
Yeah.
made all the DVDs sort of line up.
Or it
Requiem for a Dream's just kind of like, it's confusing. And again, it's Eternal Sunshine, I suppose.
or with Silence of the Lambs, it's like you've got Silence of the Lambs, Red Dragon, which is the third movie, but the second movie is just called Hannibal. It's like, I don't know, it just
Yeah.
annoys me.
No,
Little
that's
things
fair.
like that.
There's movies, yeah, you would never know that they were related at all, I guess.
Or
But then it's like adding Fast and Furious Presents to Hobbs and Shaw. It's like,
Oh.
would you rather them do it's like the dragon tattoo thing. Would you rather them have like, Red Dragon, Hannibal, Silence of the Lambs, or would you rather Hannibal, a Hannibal Lecter story, like tacked on in the end, like.
Well, with those story things, The Girl in the Spider's Web is also called The Girl in the Spider's Web, a new dragon tattoo story.
Which I don't believe is the official title, but
Yeah,
maybe
but
it
Yeah.
is.
It's on a lot of its marketing, and it's just
It's like, you get it. It's just reductive at that point because you have the image of her with the tattoo on the
Yeah.
poster. You look at the character, it's Elizabeth Salander. You can just have based on the Millennium series on there. You didn't have to add
a
dragon.
new
tattoos
dragon
to it.
tattoo story. Yeah.
Like, God
Yeah.
damn it, guys.
or I hate when the fourth installment or something in a franchise, like Rambo, it's just called Rambo. Or like the new Predator, it's just called The Predator.
Yeah, I'm
It-
not a big fan of adding or just even like Halloween pissed me off.
because it's
Forgot about that.
You
Yeah.
got 3 Halloween movies with the name Halloween. In it.
Mhm.
So what
It's-
are they going to call this sequel?
Yeah,
Like,
it's
they literally
just
just
annoying.
should have called it the new Halloween because that's what everyone calls it. Or,
Yeah.
Or they just should call Rambo 4,
Or just like what they do with it's like Halloween 2018.
Yeah.
Done.
Well, Rambo actually is a really interesting case. I'm glad you brought that up because the first movie is First Blood.
Yeah,
The second movie is Rambo First Blood Part 2. Then it's Rambo 3. Then it's John Rambo / Rambo, depending
Yeah.
on where you're from. And then what is the new one?
Rambo
V.
Last Blood.
It turns into Roman
So
numerals.
they did the first. They brought back Blood
Yeah.
and they turned in V and
They turn the numbers into Roman numerals.
that's
Yeah, the
just,
Rainbow Flag.
That's just annoying right
Yeah.
there.
OCD triggered, yeah.
Oh well,
Um,
what a time.
Or should we talk about generic studio titles? for
Yeah,
movies,
go
like
ahead.
Edge of Tomorrow.
Which is now Live Die Repeat
Yeah.
or whatever. Oh, okay. So when they announced that they wanted to make the sequel Live Die Repeat and Repeat, I thought it was a joke. I was like,
That
he's
is-
kidding, right? He's having a laugh.
He wasn't.
No.
What?
Deadpan face while saying.
Or
How you can't name a movie Live Die Repeat and Repeat?
like, how does that go on a poster
Ah.
for a serious
It's just
action
like
movie?
live, die, repeat, and then on the side it's like and repeat.
It's just increasingly getting worse. It was All You Need Is Kill, Edge of Tomorrow, Live Die Repeat, and now Live Die Repeat and Repeat.
Jesus.
And
Anyways,
another bad Die Hard 6 is going to be titled McLean.
I didn't know that. I thought it was just like
John.
That's so
That
John.
was just John.
That's so awesome. I really hope that that's what it's called, man. When it does eventually come out, I'm only referring to it as John.
John.
In all of the news stories, it's just John. John is coming out. April 2022.
Oh,
The epic
God.
6th installment of the Die Hard franchise.
John.
What's
Uh,
that? The Englishman who went up a hill but came down a mountain. 1995. Oh, that is bad.
Or another bad title I hate is the Triple X movie. It's just Triple X.
Return. Oh, wait, just
The
Triple X.
first one.
Yeah, no, that is. It
'Cause
gives you a weird vibe.
My naive self when I was like 12 or whatever, because when we review movies on Instagram, you Google search a poster, and I always do like movie title and then poster, And I didn't even think. I just went XXX poster
So
in the living room. And whoa,
Yeah, legit. No, that's true. That is a bit annoying. Yeah.
So and like when I'm doing it on Movies of the Future, I like hashtag the titles or whatever. 'Cause,
It's
you
just
get more.
XXX.
So
like-
I can't hashtag XXX.
Yeah, no, it's X capital X, lowercase x. There's a distinction right there.
But yeah, so I have to go like hashtag triple X, like literally say
Triple
that, or just call it
Yeah.
Xander
Who
Cage
even
4.
thought that was a good idea, though? You know,
Yeah,
like, cause even marketing the movie is a pain.
yeah.
Because I don't even know why it's. The movies are called Triple X, though, right? Like, when you talk about them, they.
I say triple X.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So weird.
Yeah.
Weird. I was just looking here. You could go either way on it. Quantum of Solace.
I was
Yeah,
gonna bring that up before. Yeah.
What do you reckon? Good or bad?
I don't like it.
Yeah, it's like it doesn't
sounds
really.
cool, but
It
it's
sounds
like-
cool, but
Oh,
it doesn't
yeah.
mean anything.
Because I just remember like the teaser trailer, James Bond just walking up with the gun, and then it's like on the side, Quantum of Solace. I'm like,
The
that-
007
yeah,
spells
yeah,
out.
and I
That's
was-
pretty cool.
And I was like, that sounds cool,
Just like
but I have
Casino
no idea
Royale.
what it is. So yeah.
Yeah, I think it's all right. I dig it, and the 007 saves it.
Yeah.
James Bond movies, all interesting titles like Casino Royale, pretty cool.
Octopussy.
Octopussy, yeah, not really getting what you want if
Oh.
you're going to see that. Badass on the Bayou or Badasses. Is that a real movie?
That's
That's the-
with Danny Trejo and Danny Glover.
Oh, okay, well of course it is. I have to see that.
The second one's called Badass 2 Badasses.
Just following
the
on
Die Hard
the Die
thing.
Hard formula.
Die Hard effect.
Or
That's great.
or movie titles that like don't make sense to the movie, like Star Wars Episode 2: Attack of the Clones.
Yeah, then they don't attack
They-
anything.
They kind of attack the last 5 minutes and then
Yeah.
nothing.
There's a recent one too for me. It's Green Book. The
Yeah.
actual Green Book is involved in the movie for like 2 scenes.
Interesting story I was reading about the other day. You guys know the movie Kangaroo Jack?
Yeah.
That's like old sort of Aussie.
I know the DVD cover with like the sunnies. And
Yeah,
the
yeah.
red
Ah, yes, yes.
So I vaguely remember seeing it when I was a real little kid, and I was reading about it, and apparently it was written as this like kind of like almost R-rated mafia comedy movie set in Australia, and they filmed it, and nobody in the studio liked it. They just thought it was terrible, but they knew that there was this like kangaroo that had like a cameo and like a one scene. And they saw that there was this other movie, I can't remember, it was like a dog movie, but it was like an animal-based, like talking animal sort of movie. So we're like, all right, we're going to completely mismarket this movie as a kid's talking animal movie. They redid the prosthetic kangaroo as a CGI kangaroo, and they gave it, the only scene in which it talks and has like a, sort of character is in a dream sequence that lasts like 5 minutes or like 4 minutes.
What the hell?
So Kangaroo Jack's completely not about Kangaroo Jack. It's just about 2 mafia guys.
With a kangaroo splotched in.
Yeah, and they just marketed it as
Really?
this like kids animal
see this
movie.
trailer now.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. So there you go. Kangaroo Jack doesn't sell the movie.
Did you get a
at all.
mafia vibe when you briefly saw it as
It's
a kid?
not. It's like it was weird. I don't even know what was going on. Like it felt like sort of like a sort of kids comedy movie. But I only watched this one scene. It was weird.
I know Drag wants something about titles with numbers in them.
What do you mean?
Like
Just
Fan 4 stick?
yeah.
Take 3 in?
Yeah, fair.
Or even
just-
I like it when they do it smart, like Spy Kids 3D. Like that
that's
was cool.
That's cool.
But
Or
yeah,
Seven
or
was
like
kinda cool.
Shrek,
Seven,
Shrek the Third is stupid, and it makes no sense. But I don't know. Or like
Shrek Forever After,
That's
yeah.
kind of smart.
that's not bad. There are some good cases, but yeah, you're right. Taken.
When you have a
3.
Goldmine like Too Fast, Too Furious.
Oh yeah, even the Fast and Furious is a whole dilemma itself.
Yeah, well, I hate that going back to that Rambo Predator thing. Like the 4th installment is called Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
Because no one wants to say The Fast and the Furious for the first one. You just say, have you seen the first Fast and Furious?
Yeah.
I actually think that naming it Fast and Furious was actually a good idea because
Yeah.
it's just like it is. It's
Yeah.
like the Fast and Furious, but it's like back to what you remember.
Yeah, it's kind of relaunching the franchise, but then it goes from Fast and Furious to Fast and Furious 5.
But the thing is, with
or
international,
Fast 5, Furious 6.
international,
whatever.
Yeah.
it's Fast 5, Furious 7. We have it as Fast and Furious 7.
Yeah, it's all over the place.
Messy.
Yeah.
Movie titles are difficult nuts to crack, it seems. So there you go. It was nice to kind of go through some terrible titles. Have you got any others you wanna end on before we close out the
I
episode?
saw an Italian film last year called in English it translates to "Put Nonna in the freezer."
Did it have someone putting?
Was it
Yeah,
that? Was it that? Okay,
Yeah.
well, I guess
Okay,
it's
so it's-
happening.
But it was just
Being something like beautiful, like wow, that sounds like beautiful. This
It's like,
Italian.
Yeah.
yeah,
It
no,
sounds like
I
a-
know the
Sounds like a romantic movie in
But
yeah,
Florence.
it
Yeah.
translates
Yeah.
into.
putting on in the freezer.
It was a good movie, but
Cool.
yeah, it was just a.
Maybe we'll put that in our underrated movies segment. Speaking of overlooked and underrated movies,
Skipping Okja, we're gonna go to Put Nonna in. No.
yeah.